Hello, this is Transformers fan G138, and I'm here with a video review of Bionicle 2015 Master of Fire Toa Tahu. And he is, again, one of the original 6 characters from back in 2001. Nice little comparison shot. Here he is with his 2001 iteration. As you can tell, they have a lot of cues, like with the sword. The original had this cool gear system. Not a lot of posability, but was really awesome. So, put that guy aside for a minute, and we'll go back to this guy. So, Toa Tahu features the remodeled How, or Mask of Shielding, although in this version of Bionicle, they only have their elemental power is from their mask, which I really disagree with. I really liked originally where they had their power was their color, and then the mask was an ability, like Mask of Shielding. So, anyway, let's take a closer look at the How here. Over here. So, they really did try to take a lot of the cues, specifically the cheek pattern, and this part on the top. Although it's completely redesigned, it's actually very much resembles the original. And they did that with a couple of these masks. Not all of them, but a couple of them. And like the original, they're easy to pop on and take off. They have a weird launching mechanism, where if you hit the back of their eye joint here, it pops the mask off. Weird. It's a nod to the original, where the game was to try to knock the other's mask off using the weapon. And then, once the mask's off, they're powerless anyway. And that was the game. So, it kind of resembles that. Now I guess you gotta knock them on the back of the head. I don't know. Anyway, pretty cool. Toa Tahu here comes with 2 masks. Comes with the How and the Golden How. And that is because they're on the search for the more powerful golden masks. Now, originally, when they got all their gold masks, they collected one of each of the 6 masks, and then folded them into one mask, golden mask of the original that had all 6 powers. This one is just more powerful version of the other one. Like Kopaka here, he ends up with a lot of gold up in the head, and not everywhere else. He's very gold heavy up in the top. And that's very evident here. So now if we just take a look at the rest of him. Now, most notably, he has 2 swords, which, if you notice, the original only had 1. But his Toa Nuva form, back in 2003, had 2 lava swords that formed a lava board. And that's kind of what these swords do. So we pop them out of his hand. And I like how these were designed. They're designed in 2 pieces. So you have this cool translucent piece, which was designed with Hero Factory for both fire and ice. One which is translucent blue, and the other one's translucent reds, and this. But a lot of people I've heard complaining that Kopaka has the same weapons. His form a shield, and then skis, and this one forms 2 swords, and then the lava board. And I can see where they're coming from with disappointment over that, but I think they look different enough that it's okay, especially because these are cast in silver, and his are cast in white. So anyway, to form the lava board, we just snap these together, and Toa Tahu comes with 1 extra piece, which doesn't clip on anywhere else on his body. We take this, it's just a standard cross block, and they have you plugging in here. And that kind of keeps it together. Depending if you're looking on the box or the instructions, they actually tell you to put it 2 places. One of them tells you to put it back here, and the other tells you to put it here. I find it stronger here, just because these fit together, but they don't clip together. I almost wish they clipped, because then you wouldn't even need this piece. So, that on the ground, you take Toa Tahu here, the 3 pegs on the bottom of his feet. Just do the last 2 closer to the inner side of him, according to the instructions. And there you go. Okay, now here's a big problem. Now, if he's using those, like the original, he didn't have weapons. So, they include these nice wing-like things that flip up behind them. And I will say they look awesome in any mode. If you want to look more traditional, you can fold them down. Or if you want to do the cool Bionicle new look, you can fold them up like this. Or you can remove them and place them in his hand as some golden swords, some smaller swords, to go while he's riding around on his lava board, or if he loses his larger weapons, you know, he can always still fight. So that's pretty cool. And one of the most notable features of Bionicle 2015, they have their original gear gimmicks. Now, originally, Kopaka had only one, Tahu only had one arm move, but in his Toa Nuva form, he had both arms because he had two weapons. And here, you can actually still move them around on ball and socket joints, which is phenomenal. The fact that they made this still posable and be able to use the gear system is kind of cool. The downside, though, is the arms sit a little further back than maybe they should. So from certain angles, he can look a little odd. But overall, I think this is pretty cool. I gave Kopaka a 7.5 out of 10. This guy here, Toa Tahu, gets a 8 out of 10, I think. And whatnot. Now, when I did the Kopaka review, I thought these were just the same pieces they used back in Hero Factory. So I wasn't really understanding why people were complaining about them. These little extender pieces. These are actually new. They have this little rubber insert inside them. They're hard to see in the light here, so I'll just try to move this over. And we'll try to focus in here. See, that little translucent spot in there, that's actually rubber. And it's actually injected into here through the side. And then snipped off. And that's kind of cool. But what it does is it adds a little bit of extra friction when you pop this onto a ball joint. Like here. And that allows it so it doesn't loosen up nearly as much as it does normally. And I think they're using that so you can hold the poses better. Now, the downside is when you first put them on, they're stiff and they want to break off. But if you just move it around quickly for a few seconds, then it becomes much easier to manipulate and move. Now, Kopaka had a lot of extra shoulder armor that I didn't particularly love. And here's what I was talking about with the same weapon in the shield. See, it looks different enough in the different colors. I think it's fine. But a lot of people are complaining online that these guys are the powerhouses of the team, and both of them are featured heavily in the advertisements, more so than the others. And they use the same weapon, so I can see where people are coming from. They should have unique weapons and blah blah blah. They kind of do, but I can see where people are angry with it. So overall, I like this guy. Like I said, 8 out of 10. I think the smaller size, the $14.99 ones, are actually better. That's because I feel like they just tried to bulk these guys up too much, and they put way too much effort in the shoulders and made them too broad. Tahu looks the best out of the 3 larger class, and that's why he gets an 8 out of 10. He does look the best out of the larger. Like, Kopaka isn't bad. He's been growing on me. And I added the sword too, so that helps. But I've been looking at how they're put together, and I'm trying to tweak how high Kopaka's shoulder pads sit and so on. And I'm still playing around with some ideas on how to tweak it a little bit. But overall, pretty cool little figure here. This one is a $19.99 class, or a larger of the 3. Out of the 6 Toa, there are 3 smaller and 3 larger. And then there's the 6 protectors, which are all the same size at $9.99. And then there's the Skull Spider, or the leader of the Skull Spiders, which go for $14.99 as well. So, at the size it is, I think it's pretty cool. He's got a nice wide range of motion, and the gold armor actually looks pretty good on this guy. Even with the mask, I say there's enough red in here that it balances it out pretty nicely. That, and when you throw the swords in his hands, that just adds more gold to the rest of his body and really fills him out. But he also looks good with both the swords and his regular mask. And unfortunately, I don't have it because I'm not willing to pay $100 to get it. But at Comic-Con, they released a preview where they gave out a translucent, clear version of this mask, which is kind of cool, but I really don't have use for it, and it's majorly expensive to find secondhand. So yeah, one thing I do know is the painted chests. They're okay, but to me, every time I look at Tahu's chest, I see AK-47s. I don't know why, it's just something that pops out every time I look at it. So, I know it's not intentional, but it's what I see. I see 2 AK-47s, you know, terrorist group, you know. But, overall, pretty cool figure. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Oh, backside here. So, backside doesn't look too terrible. Back of the legs, that's a unfortunate part of the Hero Factory system. The back, they do try to fix a little bit with this panel and putting the leg panel sideways. Kopaka, they fixed a little bit better, but still had some issues. But then again, we go and look back at the original Bionicle. They did not do too much hiding. The back looked better, but that's because all the pieces were there. Same with the 2008 stash. Now, this is also Tahu from his 2008 iteration. I do like the brighter red, and I didn't like the fact that this guy had a shield and used the mask protection. To me, it was a very high redundancy that did not need to be redundant. But it's still pretty neat to do a comparison between the two. Yeah. So here we go, Tahu. Again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe for more. Also, if you have any questions, post a comment down below, and I will get back to you.